Here we go in end number 7 at the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018. Hannah Fleming. You see on her expression, she's pretty annoyed with herself. She knows she's let her opponent back in the game. Big count of 3.
What was good there as well, our team at the break were, you know, Hannah's still saying, I can't believe I did that. And they're saying, it's fine, we're in control, we're 1 up with a hammer, forget it.
Yeah.
And it is so important that she bins that now, because she can't control that, that's happened. Yeah. You're 1 up with a hammer, play the scoreboard.
Yeah, they say great athletes need really short memories, and really selective ones. Just play with what's in front of you. You can't get that one back. It's happened. The 3's on the board. Just deal with what's in front of you.
Control the controllables.
Indeed. I think some of the greatest life advice I ever got, Rona, was from a curling coach. And he said, control what you can control, absolutely, but you can't control everything. But what you can control is your reaction to it. And those are very wise words. So Hannah Fleming trying to control her reaction to that disappointment. Let's see if they can make the most of the hammer here on end number 7.
Yeah, but even if they have a clean blank end here and then go for the score in 8. Whereas Japan will be trying to force one here so they can get the hammer back.
That's absolutely right. This would be a great end for Scotland to blank if they could. If you're new to curling, a blank end is when you score no points. The tactical advantage in doing that, you keep last rock advantage into the next end. This one, will it stay on the rings? Not quite. Thumbs up from Kotani.
I mean, Japan could really go for it and have put up a second centre guard there. But it's early enough in the game and they're just 1 down now.
Does tell us that they're thinking force rather than steal.
Yeah, definitely.
Scotland playing into that frame of mind as well, avoiding that center guard, just keeping the play away to the wing. Keeping their options open. We did see earlier in the match, Rona, where it looked like a conservative Scottish end all of a sudden turned into a 2. So Hannah Fleming keeping her options open. I think that's wise.
Yeah, and there's just a couple of errors on both sides, and it's just making sure that the opposition, you capitalise straight away.
Well, both teams have capitalized on errors by their opponents.
This one's pulling though.
Oh, leaving that stone in the ring. So here's that situation where your mind now can switch a little bit from keep your options open for a blank to now you can start entertaining thoughts of a 2. Ishigaki looking perplexed. I think that was just the weight. The weight was down, really moved.
Yeah, she was looking confused by that.
It was only about hack weight. That one really curled.
So Scotland just splitting the rings, keeping maximum separation. Keeping it open.
Anna Spence draws it to the extreme wing, biting the 12-foot circle. No double there. Not even Kevin Martin, the legendary Canadian curler, could throw it hard enough to make a flat crosshouse double on those stones. Rasmus Sterner or Jason Gunlugson, or you sort of think about people, Rachel Homan, who could throw it really hard?
No, I don't think anybody would be able to do that one.
I think it hit it hard enough to basically vaporize a stone. Could Hammy do it?
Not even the great Hammy could do that.
Could Hammy Jr. do it?
No.
Could Ewan McDonald do it?
No. they would all have a go, but I'm
They don't-
afraid
they
they
don't-
were
they don't
far
play
too
it.
flat that there was no double going there.
They'd all play it. They'd think they could make it.
So working this hard, they want to nose this. Stay in the rings. Oh,
Oh,
just
well
hangs it. By the skin of its teeth.
Is there a double there now?
I doubt it. I need to see the angles, but I would very much doubt it.
It's less flat. That one just biting the 12 foot. Really well swept. Just holds on to the ring. Well, the crosshouse double probably still not on. Sean Becker, he can throw it pretty hard. Dan Mustapic.
It's not the speed that you can throw it at. It's I think you need a remote control to put it straight across the house.
Gets a piece, spills out of the rings. So the two very much in play here for Scotland. Marco Usapavaniemi. Joanne Courtney. Sun Young Kim. I'm mentally going through my Rolodex of players that can throw the heat with accuracy, and there are a lot of them. A lot of them happen to be Scottish. Danny Walchuk going back into the catalog.
Just drawing out to the wing. And yeah, years ago, a lot more of the players lifted the stone in their delivery, so we're generating more power. That was my era.
Bob Pickering, Pee Wee Pickering, the greatest backswing in the history of curling. He would actually lift the stone over his head.
Probably
See some
pulled
old
his arm
photos.
out the socket in the process. But no, you could generate a lot more power with the lift.
See very few players today using that backswing, if still few do. Mr. Eriksson, he can throw some heat.
So Japan changed their tact here. They're 2 against. So now they're drawing round their guard. They could have even tried to freeze the one in the wing and force an error from Scotland.
Really important they get shot, but it's going to come up short. Good looking line. Would have been great to be full 12, but
Yeah, great chance now for Scotland though. To
Yeah.
zoom round there and lie 3.
excellent opportunity. Considering clearing the front, but I'm not sure why. Japan will still have a guard to go around.
To watch they don't jam this on one of the back ones in the house, because there's one on either side.
That's absolutely right. Jammed either way on the clear. There's risk running the Japanese stone onto their own. Jennifer Dodds. Does clear the guard. You can see Tori Koana immediately pointing to the button. So I didn't love that clear attempt. We knew that Japan was always going to go around the one that remained.
Yeah, if Scotland had come round their top 4, they'd come round first.
Exactly.
Puts the pressure onto Japan. They're line 3 against. They don't have last stone. Japan would then really, really have to make a very good shot to save the end. Whereas now if they come round here first, then Hannah's chasing it. But Japan have to make this.
Yeah, this one's going to be well by that stone in the top of the 12-foot. Looking for cover, but has a lot of curling to do to get there. Sweep it deep. It's more for line than weight.
Yeah, they could have actually swept that further back because it would still have been short, even back 8 foot. So Hannah will be able to see some of that from the hack.
Maybe a corner hidden for Tori Koana, but it is accessible for Hannah Fleming.
Scotland here want to... Oh, well, let's see.
Yeah, let's take a quick look here at Korea, USA. Look at all the stones in play. Final stone about to be thrown by Kim Un-jung. USA looks to have a stone on the button. Is this going to be a angle double takeout attempt by the looks of it? Trying to run her own stone in. Wow. When the smoke clears, who got the point? It is a steal of 2 to the Americans. Well, 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 what a game there. Had to make an angle run in just to reduce the damage, and it's a steal of 2 for Jamie Sinclair, and they go in the lead.
So Scotland here would like to remove this and roll over a wee bit, because if they nose it, it will give Japan something to freeze.
Got to get by the top stone first, though. Clips it. Pushes the Japanese stone into the 8-foot. Now Japan lying 2.
So that turning point where Scotland could have drawn into lie 3 and put the pressure on, now Hannah Fleming is going to be forced to take 1.
Japan need to get one into the rings first. If she was ever to come up light, there would be the chance for Scotland to remove 2 Japanese stones and still score multiple points. But if Tori Koana can get another one in here, chance of a triple takeout for Scotland is pretty low.
Oh, there's a reverse handle.
Unconventional, but it works for her. Most players will set their handle position in the hack before they slide forward, but Tori actually does it mid-shot.
Quite a skill.
Sure is.
So they want to bring this in, but not too far. Needs to stop there.
Doesn't quite stop there, it stops there.
So it now gives Scotland a double takeout to score their 1.
So Rona, you're saying if it would have stopped 1 rock further forward.
Yeah, a bit higher to make the double longer, so it's a harder double.
Right.
But also as well, if they nose, it wouldn't be short.
Right, Japan would count the point to the upper right of our picture.
And if it was higher up, it could also block the draw, so it could do a multiple of... It's just if it stopped a wee bit shorter, but Hannah was never going to draw facing 3.
Well, so mission accomplished for Japan in terms of the force, and can Hannah Fleming save the end with a double takeout? Last stone on its way here on end number 7. Hannah Fleming has to make a double takeout to score a single point. Oh, very nicely played. Single point for Scotland. Hannah Fleming makes the double, but Japan gets the force. We're heading towards the wire of this 10-end game. Single point for Scotland there gives them a 7-5 lead after 7. making her way back to the home end after a conference with her team. You're enjoying live coverage here from North Bay, Ontario. It's the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018. Hans Frauenbaum here with you, joined by Olympic champion Rona Howie. Scotland with a 7-5 lead, playing the 8th. Japan with last rock here in the 8th. Still anybody's game if Japan could score a pair here. It would be pretty level pegging.
Yep, 8th end. Japan will really want to try and push for their 2. Scotland really keen to force 1 here.
Tori Kawana electing a corner guard. There's a comparison to the lead position. Can't get more even than that.
Yep. There's been quite a variation in the stats this week, and I think more so because we now have 13 teams. You're going to get that bigger variation.
Nice weight. Sits on the corner. Kawana will try to use that later in the end to get some protection. Vicky Wright.
Vicky from Stranraer in Scotland, now living in Stirling as a nurse when she's not curling.
She nurses that one right into the top of the forefoot behind cover. Well played. Quick updates of our scores. Switzerland 5-4 over Denmark. Sweden 8-3 over Germany. Really tight battle between the USA and Korea. And that'll be the consequences on the standings. The USA sitting at 3-3. If they could upset Korea, that would put them right in the playoff hunt. Same for Japan. If they get the win here, that would push them up into playoff contention as well. So everything to play for.
I know, and it's such a long week, you can't start guessing, oh, well, if they win and they win, this will happen. They've just got to play and win. It's quite simple.
Yeah. If you go 12-0, chances are you're in the playoff.
Yeah, I would reckon so.
Anna Hasselborg and Jennifer Jones can still have that dream, but it's going to end for one of them tonight. They do play each other this evening, the top-placed teams. An important win for Korea here, the game that they're playing this morning against the USA. They still have a chance to make the top 2, but if they were to lose to the Americans this morning, that would dent their chances.
So Alice Spence is trying to hit this one and roll to the wing a wee bit. Does that nicely. 2 reds are very level.
So how much of a roll is a wee bit?
A wee bit of a roll.
Rock and a half? Rock?
A wee bit would be, yes, a 1.5, 2 rocks.
Okay.
A big roll would be right across
So a
half
biggish,
of the house, and then
a biggish roll then would be about 1 3/4, 2 rocks. Versus a really big roll, 5 rocks maybe. What a wee bit.
4.
4,
rocks
okay.
for a small roll would be a flop. Not the flop, just a flop.
And a wee flop would be
But
3/4
Japan are
of a
needing
rock.
to make contact for this. They're wanting a wee tap back. But
that is going to be a quiet one. It goes past the stone all the way through the rings.
that was a bad mistake, because even erring on the tight side and moving the centre guard there was an option.
Scotland now immediately seizing the opportunity to remove the corner guard.
Yeah, plays that nicely.
Just hangs around in play, but not touching the rings. A bit early in the end, perhaps, Rona, to not play that corner guard and just guard up the stone at the front of the button and defend that for the force.
Yeah, definitely. They can force quite well here. They're in a good position. The setup's good. Japan have to move this off the forefoot, but this one's really cutting now, and just aired on the other side.
Yes, after being wide and heavy were their first one. Moishigaki with that one is light and narrow. That's
tight
often
and light's
happens.
never a good option.
No.
So this is a really good position for Scotland to take advantage. They can be anywhere short here.
And it could come all the way down to their own stone, tuck a corner around, and anywhere along this in-turn path, as long as it's in front of the stone in the forefoot, is a good result for Scotland. Plenty of room.
Got away with that one, and it's actually finished in not a bad place at all. Japan can't remove both of those and keep their shooter.
Yeah, just that final little bit of finish, hiding a corner behind that red guard on the top of our screen.
She catches it fairly thin. The shooter could come over to the red on the wing, and she'll move the one off the forefoot, but she may not get them all out.
Yeah, she'll be jamming that stone all day, I would imagine, that stone in the 8-foot.
But needs to have a go at it. They have to get rid of some granite here.
Yeah, they need to open up the scoring area for themselves to salvage at least a single point. Waiting for this one to curl. Now it's making a move. Not a bad result. Leaves the Scottish stone in the rings on the edge of the 12-foot, but importantly for themselves, 4 foot's open now. It is cut off on the outturn side, however. There's comparisons between the thirds players. Jennifer Dodds with a clear edge over Minokatani. Jennifer having a nice game.
Yep, Katani just struggling with her weight today. And hitting stones on the wrong side. Scotland could do with a roll in here.
A biggish roll.
This is a wee roll over to the top of the 4.
Okay. It's going to be a little flop to the outside.
Now Japan have got the chance to freeze this one at the back of the 4.
You can see Tori Kawana patting her brush with purpose on the top of the 4. It needs to be right here.
Right here. If they can get round here into the 4-foot, it could set up 2 for them, but they have to be careful. They either freeze the back, because if they sit halfway, Scotland have got the red on the outside to use, to raise.
So just needs to bite the very extreme front of the 4-foot circle. Behind cover, this one's well by.
They're very wide of line, they need to pull that in.
Great weight, just needed to curl another half a rock. So Japan lying 1. But stone is available. Great look at there from the delivery end. Half of it open for Hannah Fleming. She can just pick it out.
Half stone. If you roll like that's fine. Yeah. I don't know. Just half stone though to get it by.
No, I think he was just coming back. I mean, I think I just said it to you. Okay, 10.5? Yeah. Okay.
10.5. They're just confirming the weight that they want to throw on this shot.
You got this.
Trying to park her right between those two red ones as we're looking at it. Hit half of the yellow stone. Stone's making a move now. Really curling. Is she going to jam on the back? Actually got on the inside of it. Pushes it to the back of the 12-foot. That's a nice result. They're lying 3.
Yeah, what was really important there was where our shooter remained. And that has blocked the way in for Japan.
Yep, no way to the button now for Tori Koana.
I know. I'm literally like almost wanting to go like this.
Pretty even between the skips. Slight edge to Hannah Fleming in the percentage department. But now the question for Tori Koana. How do you get behind cover? Might be able to throw back line-ish weight at the left hand of the red stones and maybe curl enough to slightly redirect behind cover and get shot.
She could draw in. There is such a big swing at the end. She could draw in on the out turn and come in off that red. But then to do that, Hannah would still have the raise on the other red.
Might be able to somehow squeeze it between the two red stones and go all the way to the back of the 4-foot. That would probably be the best place if she could get it there, but there is such a tight port between those two rocks. Hard to see her being able to squeeze it through there.
But what's important now for Japan, they're not going to blank this end.
No.
They're going to struggle to get their 2, but they have to score.
That's a very good point. They
so
must score.
They must make sure with this stone, she gives herself something for her last stone
That's a
to play with.
very astute observation, Rona. You're right. Scoring mandatory for Japan.
And this is well tight line. This could be a disaster for Japan.
Clips the guard, pushes the Scottish stone forward, and the woes continue for Japan in this end. It's really an embarrassment of riches now for Scotland.
Japan are really struggling today with their line, and I'm wondering if they'll never have experienced stones changing midway through a tournament.
True.
Being rubbed, and they are swinging a lot more today. And I just think maybe Japan aren't icing enough for these swinging stones.
And they do typically play that gentle, it's a little bit more than canny weight. I like to
It's
play
a
that
nice
barrier,
canny weight.
Nice canny weight. That barrier weight.
Barrier weight.
Yeah, they play that down weight on the takeouts, and
Yeah.
with a little bit of extra movement in the stones, as you said, after it's been treated, then it is fooling them. That's absolutely.
It's just the white one you're tapping, yeah? No, the center one. Okay, just to kind of guddle them a bit. And if they rub off.
They cuddled it. They're
Guddle.
they're
There's a
cuddling it
guddle.
in there.
Yeah. So wait, maybe need a touch. I think we
She's
need a
saying
bit more.
to tap the centre one
Yeah,
Just to cuddle them in there.
to guddle it about more, but she's got to watch she doesn't leave an open one that's an easier shot for Japan for their one.
Just wants to nudge this forward maybe a couple of centimeters, I think.
It'd be good if she actually hit the outside one right across into the 4-foot.
She could do that as well. We've got options here. There are not too many bad ones for Scotland. You're going to leave your opponent a very difficult shot. It's going to overcurl the straight tap, just pushing a slight angle, but that's a nice shot. Leaves the 4-foot available for Tori Koana, and she immediately puts the brush down. Says, I'm not going to try hitting any of those ones. That's not going to work for me. Have to draw a piece of the red.
Yep, draw against 5. No pressure.
None at all. Game on the line here for Tori Koana. This is a game shot. Must make. We'll do the interval time. It's been running about 14.4. for T-line. This is a wider path, however. Might need a little bit extra juice to get to the red 4-foot circle. And we see 13.6. Now it needs to curl. It's got the weight, but will it get to the 4-foot? No, it is going to slide back deep to the 8-foot. It is a steal of 3 for Scotland. Huge. Tori Kawana had to go the wider line, added a fraction of weight, ran a little bit straight. Weight wasn't terrible, but it didn't curl enough. It's a steal of 3 for Scotland. They are in the driver's seat now in this game. After 8 ends of play, Scotland now with a 5-point lead. They lead at 10-5.
Right.
Plenty of time on the time clocks available. We're in the 9th end of play here in this 10-end game. Round robin action live from North Bay, Ontario, the Ford World Women's Curling Championships 2018. Scotland now in command, 5-point lead with 2 to play. Hans Frauenlob here with Rona Howie, and quite an easy road home now, you would think, for Scotland, but final go here for Japan to give themselves a chance. They really need to score 3 here.
Yeah, 2 ends to go. Japan really would want a 3 and then steal a 2. It's a tall order, but it's possible.
Well,
we've seen it this week already.
Seen some turnarounds this week when you thought teams were dead and gone, and have come back.
But yeah, Scotland just don't want any stones in play that'll benefit Japan. Vicky Wright's first one through the house. Won't even go for the tick, just put the second one through.
A game with playoff implications. USA leading Korea 6-5. It's the final stone here for Korea's Kim Eun-jung. Trying to draw for 2. They've got one at the front of the button. They need full 4-foot to get their pair, but it's going to come up short. It's only a single. Good force there for USA's Jamie Sinclair and co. This one's looking like it's going to go down to the wire. It would be a huge win for the USA. It would put them right in the playoff frame if they could upset Korea. 2 guards in play for Japan.
Just think about this angle.
Free guard zone part of the end is over. So Scotland can now throw clearing shots. Alice Spence going to try and hit this one on the high side, maybe get a chance to clear them both. There's one. Ooh, just misses the double clear. Good try. Nice throw.
Yeah, you heard Hannah say, just make sure you get the one. Second one was a bonus.
Yeah, 2's nice. 1's okay. None, not so good. Now Shigaki. Mr. Rest just on the forward logo. 2 corner guards. They're really wide, but usable.
Scotland will just keep peeling them off now.
And the Fleming will be thinking, well, it's acceptable from a Scottish perspective. Afford to give up as many as 2 in this situation without any fear. 3 up coming home with last rock's a pretty good situation to be in. Guards removed. Shigaki.
Yep, she's not her best game today. Struggled a wee bit. Line and weight.
This one eases into the ring.
The arena's quite noisy this morning with school children.
That's what we like to hear. Waves to the crowd from Anna Hasselborg's Olympic champions, 8-4 winners over Germany. The Hasselborg Express moves on to another station. They are unbeaten, and that will clinch their playoff spot. Very impressive this week, maintaining that excellent Olympic performance here in North Bay. Looking very much like one of the teams to beat this week, Rana.
Without doubt. As everybody questioned, them, Korea, the ones coming straight back from Pyeongchang to here. It's a mammoth ask for such a heavy schedule, and how would they cope? Well, Anna Hasselborg and her team have answered that question pretty well. I think they were so professional and so prepared for the Olympics. This is just a continuation for them, and as long as they're resting, as they say, between games and can recover, then their performance level should still be the same. They've trained to be there.
Take a look at all of our scores here in the morning session. Switzerland leading Denmark by a score of 6-4. That's a must-win for Switzerland. Sweden 8-4 winners over Germany. USA, Korea, the other game with playoff implications, are tied up at 6 in our feature game. Scotland with a handy 10-5 lead over Japan. There we see now Sweden